So in Adi Lila, chapter 1, text 1 and 34, it's the same. In Slok 1, Prabhupada did not give purport. In text 34, which is the same thing, he gave purport in that. Explaining the spiritual master. So the question are there for us to discuss. Before we go to the questions, let us hear something about spiritual masters. The Prabhupada said in purport, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has composed this Sanskrit verse for the beginning of his book. And now, he will explain it in detail. He offers his respectful obeisances to the 6 principles of the Absolute Truth. Guru is plural in number because anyone who gives his spiritual instructions based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as a spiritual master. Although others give help in showing the way to beginners, a guru who first initiates one with the Maha Mantra is to be known as the initiator. And the saints who give instruction for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness are called instructing spiritual masters. The initiating and instructing spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna, although they have different dealings. Their function is to guide the conditioned soul back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted Nityananda Prabhu and the 6 Goswamis in the category of Guru. Isha Bhaktam refers to the devotees of the Lord, like Sri Srivas and all other such followers, who are the energy of the Lord and are qualitatively not different from him. Isa Bhattarakan refers to acharyas like Advaita Acharya Prabhu, who is an avatar of the Lord. Tapakasan indicates the direct manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nityananda Prabhu, an initiating spiritual master. Shakti refers to the spiritual energies. Shakti is of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dhira Pandit, Damodara, and Jagadananda belong to this category. This category of internal energy. Thank you for that. The 6 principles are differently manifested, but all are equally worshipable. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins by offering his obeisances unto them to teach us the method of worshipping Lord Chaitanya. The external potency of Godhead, called Maya, can never associate with the Lord, just as darkness cannot remain in the presence of light. Yet, darkness, being but an illusory and temporary covering of light, has no existence independent of light. So that is the purport. Prabhupada. So the question before us is, preparing our consciousness to place our spiritual master in his just puja. What are the things that are placing the Guru the most? In our movement, all the devotees are well acquainted with Srila Prabhupada's book distribution. Everybody knows about this book distribution. So Prabhupada liked the book distribution. So towards the end, towards the end means when Prabhupada is leaving the planet. So the question came up before Prabhupada. And every devotee is expecting Prabhupada to say Sankirtan devotees and Sankirtan book distribution is the number one things that one can do to please the spiritual master. So all the Sankirtan devotees were ready to hear that. Mr. Prabhupada did not say that. The end. And Prabhupada said, the spiritual master's prime duty, his prime satisfaction is when the devotees are making advancement in Krishna consciousness. Devotees are making advancement in Krishna consciousness. Devotees are becoming pure devotees. So we saw that Prabhupada established the Society for Krishna Consciousness. He printed so many books and encouraged devotees for book distribution. So Prabhupada established deity worship. And he introduced, he gave us prasadam, food distribution, prasadam distribution. Prabhupada encourages college preaching, Namahad, Bhakti Dhira. He encourages also to open many temples, big, magnificent temples. So Prabhupada pushes the Lord for us to make devotees. He extensively preached Krishna consciousness. I requested that if a disciple wants to preach the spiritual master, if a disciple wants to please the spiritual master, we should preach vigorously as he did. And Prabhupada encouraged many other things. But what is the main thing that Prabhupada is doing this for? Is to make a pure devotee, or to make pure devotees. What pleases the spiritual master is that disciples are becoming serious in Krishna consciousness, and they are becoming pure devotees. That pleases the spiritual master. And Prabhupada explained that in the preface of Bhagavad Gita. If I can make one pure devotee from this Bhagavad Gita lessons, I will consider my attempt a success. So while we are doing so many things, we're preaching and devising so many ways of present Krishna consciousness, the real interest or the point or the purpose for all these things is to make you devotees. You can hire many people to do something to cook. You can hire people, even you can hire people to preach. But many people that you can hire them to do adverts. You can hire people to do many things. You cannot hire somebody to become a field devotee. For that, we have to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness process given to us by acharyas, taking deep interest in our sadhana. One will consider himself or herself a disciple. One is considered a disciple. One is considered a disciple by how much we are following the process nicely, very deeply. We saw when Chitamabu was teaching us through the person of Gundicha Maharajan. There's so many lessons that Chitamabu was teaching. One of them is that a devotee will become successful in his or Krishna consciousness by how we support others in their Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master feels very happy and satisfied when he sees that the disciples are making advancement and helping others in making advancement. The spiritual master feels very happy. And our empowerment comes from this. A disciple becomes or attract the attention of the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master by how much he's facilitating the spiritual master's service, by helping devotees in their Krishna consciousness, so they can also make advancement and become pure devotee. So, you know about giving billion to a spiritual master. That is not wrong. This is good because he recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 18:5. Danya tapas. Danya tapas. Danya tapas. What do you? Jagya dana tapas. Natya. Sacrifice, penance, austerity, and charity should not be given up because they are so powerful that they purify even sages. So to give donations to the spiritual master, monetary donations is not bad. It facilitates the spiritual master's service. You can expand his services to reach more conditions. You can produce more books. You can distribute more prasadam. You can organize more preaching programs. You can establish more projects which will give people opportunity for Krishna consciousness. According to place, time, and circumstances, this principle is very powerful, and if it is applied, we will do better in our Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada succeeded because of this principle. So in places like Africa, material facilities will help devotees help you become devotees and also help them to become serious Krishna consciousness. So if we have a nice project that can bridge people in spiritual life, one of the best projects, a preaching project, preaching opportunity, preaching system that can work perfectly. I saw in India also, many people come to the temple at the center, or people go to the temple because of the building. In New Delhi, there is ashram, very very powerful, famous. This famous in name, ashram. And we don't have the advert directing to Shisirada Parthasarati temple, but the ashram has a directive in the city directing to the ashram. But what is in that ashram? If you go to the ashram, it's a big, expansive place. What is there is just a building. Different buildings are there. When you say ashram, there's nothing there, only buildings. The deities they have there, like the size of my own deities. And it's the smallest of all the places. But thousands of people go there every day. What are they going there for? It's the buildings, not Krishna. It's not Krishna. If it's Krishna, Krishna will have been the temple will have the biggest and the deity will have been one of the biggest. But the deity there is like my own deity, the size of my deity. But you see, millions of people go there. It's a building, it's the facilities. And you draw people to come. So to support such a project is wonderful. And devotees can do that. It's a preaching strategy. Once we were traveling and we came to the railway station, and some people they saw us as we're coming out, and one of them then our big car came to take us. So some of them they were watching us, and one of them said, Hare Krishna. If people enjoy. I say yes. I took it spiritually. I say yes, we are enjoying, and I would like you to join us. I want you to join us so you can enjoy. So I was taking him on the spiritual level. Then after this, as I was talking to him like this, he went to my church. I see a car, see I'm suffering and standing inside the sun, see how he's sweating, but see your car air condition. You go to the temple now, drink nice prasadam. So he is not seeing us spiritually, he is seeing us materially. So if we will have material facilities, we have more people to get, because people will see us externally, people will not see us internally. And Prabhupada said that I can stay, quote, this is Prabhupada, not me. I can stay on a tree and channel investment people, no problem. But who will come there? Who will come there? A poor man is not respected. Therefore, we are embarking on big temples just to attract people to come and hear about Krishna, come and see Krishna. Take Krishna Chanamrita, or take some prasadam, hear the holy name. If for that purpose, and I saw that our Acharya, the Sri Goswami is as extremely renounced, but their temples are very magnificent. Why are they doing it? It's for the people, not for themselves. It's for the people. It's for the people. So a disciple should try to understand the interest of the spiritual master. Not just look externally, we should try to look into the interest of the spiritual master. What is it? What strategy is he using? And how that strategy works for helping people. He's a disciple. And he will support, or she will support that. This is how we will please the spiritual master. Supporting his preaching. His Holiness Dhira Swami is giving initiation as a disciple. You are taking initiation now. You are taking initiation from me. So you are accepting me as your spiritual master. Are you ready to support my service to my spiritual master? Of course, the disciple will say yes, even if you are not going to do that. But on that day, we'll say yes. But that is the point, that we should be ready to support the spiritual master in his service to his spiritual master. Because we are not alone. We are not alone. No one is alone. So, understanding what is the spiritual master's interest. Let them making money, but is working very hard to establish something, a project that will help connect thousands of people to Krishna. And we please the spiritual master because we are seeking his service. Krishna Dhira Swami, he described how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was expressing his feeling to Haridas Thakur. My dear Haridas, I have an anxiety. And Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, what can be anxiety for you? What can be anxiety? You are the one who put off the anxieties of the living entities. You put off the anxieties of all living entities. But this process of Sankirtan you established. So what can be anxiety? The anxiety is to expand this Sankirtan movement. That is anxiety. So Chidambabu said, yes. I came to deliver everyone. And I have chanted the holy name the human beings are chanting. When I was traveling in Jarakanda for it, I also met animals to chant. What about the plants? How are they going to chant? Insect. How will they chant? This is my anxiety. How does the say, my Lord, you have already done it. When you chant it loudly, Hare Krishna, there was an echo. That echo was the response, the chanting of the trees. So you have done it. The Prophet mentioned in the purport, this is the duty of a disciple to relieve the spiritual master of his anxiety. What is anxiety? To give Krishna consciousness, to give more opportunity for people to take to Krishna consciousness, to give opportunity for people to become free from the qualities of mind, taking to Krishna consciousness. To support that, this is the spiritual master. And so Prabhupada mentioned how to receive the mercy of the spiritual master. So Prabhupada mentioned Bhagavad Gita 434 purport. One must accept the spiritual master in full surrender. In full surrender, as a menial servant without false prestige. Serve the spiritual master as a menial servant without false prestige. Serve the spiritual master without false prestige, to please the spiritual master with sincere service. He said, by nature, pure devotees are kind by nature. When their heart is touched by our sincere service. What is sincere service? Sincere service means a service that has no motivation. There's no motivation. If there is motivation, that motivation is how to please the spiritual master, how to make him happy, how to make him satisfied. That service will touch the spiritual master's heart. And by touching the spiritual master's heart by our sincere service, we'll automatically get the blessing. We'll get the blessing automatically. And it's the Vishnu Chakravarti Chakra. He supported that idea. He confirmed that idea. He established that idea that it is true. Of course, our charities are together. Property is taking it from their realizations, adding to its own realizations, and expanding everything to our best understanding and application. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur said, a disciple should not ask a guru for blessing. He didn't say we should not ask for blessing. He said we should not ask for blessing until we are able to satisfy the spiritual master by sincere service. The same thing, sincere service. Sincere service. Only when we have pleased him with the sincere service, we are qualified to ask for blessing. Service, we already explained, to support the spiritual master in his service to the spiritual master. That brings automatic blessing to the disciple. Spiritual master is happy when they see the disciples acting properly. We are actually disciples, a quality. Disciple with quality. Disciple. What quality? It's not about going everywhere, Maharaj blessing, Maharaj Ashirwad, blessing, Kripa Karo. This is cheating. None of our chariots establish this principle. The principle established by our chariots is sincere service. That's the process of getting the message, the blessing. In that, you don't need to ask. That service already brings automatic blessing because the service will touch the heart of the person. That the money got the blessing, the mercy of Lakshmi Devi by Kunta. He was able to get Narayan's Mahaprasad because of the service he rendered to Lakshmi Devi. Service. Not by eloquent speaking. I have given 1 billion seminars and preach lectures, workshops, or whatever, and have made billion disciples. Okay, how many of them are pure devotees? That's the point. How many devotees? How many of them are pure devotees? How many are pure devotees? We are offering all this as a service to the spiritual master. So disciples are ready to be trained by the spiritual master, and the training is being received by the disciple. The spiritual master is training disciples, and they are receiving that and working on that. They will automatically become purified. One who follows the instructions. They follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Follow the instructions of the spiritual master. By following the instructions of the spiritual master. We will get there. We follow the instructions. Why should we write Vyasa Puja offerings? Why should we write? I have heard from His Grace Brahmananda Prabhu. Brahmananda Prabhu is one of the devotees who made or who established Krishna consciousness in West Africa, in East Africa, in West Africa. So I heard from him, and he was speaking with the guest puja of Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan. So he told us that Srila Prabhupada said on the Vyasa Puja day is a day he will understand who are the disciples. How? By their offerings. And he said the offerings should be written. The offerings should be written down and offered to the spiritual master. So we saw that Prabhupada has a Vyasa Puja book. Vyasa Puja. Now in ISKCON is not allowed. Only Prabhupada Vyasa Puja book should be written. Other gurus should not write the Vyasa Puja book. It's a GBC law. So we want to maintain it. But the offerings are written. Especially the disciples are appreciating the wonderful dealings of the character, the activities, the spiritual practice of the spiritual master the disciples have seen. That is encouraging them, that are supporting them, they are helping them, that they are making them to have faith in Krishna that yes, this is a pure devotee and he is able to lead me back to Godhead, back to Krishna, back to home. So it is not the Vyasa Puja. The day of expressing our grievances, our dissatisfactions. It is not. It's a day of glorifying the spiritual master, appreciating the spiritual master, what he is doing in our own personal life, what we see. What are the things he did that are wonderful? We can see that yes, this is encouraging, it is devotional, it represents our chariots, is helping us to be fully established in Krishna consciousness. Is pushing us. What are the qualities we have seen in the spiritual master? It's a glorification. And I also remember in 2004, I was in Dwarka. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami, he established a temple. So he opened the temple. The opening of that temple, I was fortunate to be there. So I attended. So Surya Das Prabhu, the temple president in Kagar, Mumbai. So he urged all the disciples. This is a day for all of you to come and respect and glorify a spiritual master. I want all of you to come out. This is a day for you to glorify a spiritual master. So I learned all these personalities. So we write. It's not about yourself. It is a glorification of the spiritual master. And I'm repeating, the day of share of grievances, something the government of the sister has done, so I'm going to express it so people can know how bad it is and how I'm so disturbed and worried about it. I want all of you to lament like me. No, that is not the day. That is not the day. The day of honoring the spiritual master. I also had last year in Vrindavan, His Holiness Vrindavan Chandra Das Goswami Maharaj. He gave a very powerful explanation about the spiritual master. The spiritual master, why we should do offering to, why we should have Vyasa Puja for spiritual master. So we write it and offer it to the spiritual master. We may be able to read it that day. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't read that day, it should be given to this person. But when you write a letter to the person, you give it to the person. And the person you read. So I read it and hear it. So that helps the special master to see the kind of disciples he's having. Then he will know so how to adjust himself to assist that people. It's not that the devotees are very humble. Devotees, that is our nature. So we're very, very humble. So devotee is not pride. Devotee doesn't like to hear about his glories. That is the nature. Devotee doesn't like to hear about their glories. So why should someone come and sit down and hearing what people are talking about you? We are like this, we are like that. It's not about him. It's not about him. It's not about him. So the Prophet explained. It's a lecture Srila Prabhupada given in Los Angeles, July 8, 1974. So Guru is a representative of God. Therefore, the Shastra says, the authority says, Sakshat Hripena Samasta Sastre Guru Vasaka Masaba. Guru is as good as God. Here in this Vyasa Puja day, we are teaching, or they are doing, offering respect to Guru. That means they are learning how to offer respect to God. So Krishna, the spiritual master, is a medium. So whatever we say the quality we have seen in our spiritual master, it is Krishna's qualities. So the spiritual master is accepting that on the Vyasa Puja day because it's a representative and it's a worship of the Vyasa day, the original spiritual master. So he is accepting this. It's a risk for him. It's a delicate service for him that he's sitting there and all this is said to him. But he is there to represent Vyasadeva and Krishna. So he takes an offer. It is not a personal affair. It is required. Because they are trying to be God conscious. They must learn how to offer respect to God or God's representative. That is required. That is required. Shastra Dharitwana Samasa Shastra. In all the Shastra, Vedic literature, Guru is described as good as God. He is good as God because he is representing God. In a material world, will you accept? Of course, it's happening in the material world. It is happening. Even in our movement, it is happening. But that is not the point. The real point is that a person who represents God must have some of his qualities that is making him or her to be a representative. That is the point. It's a representative. Therefore, the respect is given. Like we have an ambassador of the country. Anything that happened to that ambassador, it is an attack on the country that he represents. But Guru will never say that I am God. The disciple's duty is to offer respect to Guru as he offers respect to God. But Guru will never say that I am God. I am. Because my disciples are offering me respect as God. Therefore, I have become God. As soon as he thinks so, he becomes dog. This is the process, Vedic process to receive the transcendental knowledge through the parampara system and the reception or honor given to the spiritual master. It goes to Krishna. Spiritual master is the official collector. Just like in government, there is collector. He receives the money, taxes from the citizens, not for his personal use, but for the government. Similarly, this is the Vedic system. To receive knowledge through the transparent medium, guru, and to receive. Guru means to honor. Guru means the honor goes to Krishna. So this is necessary. This is not an artificial thing, but spiritually it is necessary. Therefore, we hold Vyasa Puja Day. How to write? Yeah, write the qualities for a special master that you have seen. At least you read what the person was saying. Sometimes you know the person. So the Vyasa Puja Day, devotees will go and do what they like. And when it is time, just brunch in the shop and buy cake, go and offer to the spiritual master. God is not a hungry man. He's not waiting for a Vyasa Puja Day so he can eat. It is, we are showing our feelings to the spiritual master. So if you go to the shop and buy cake, go and offer to the spiritual master. What is your feelings inside? You have no feelings. In fact, the person who cook will be better because the person's feelings is inside the cake or whatever burger you have purchased. The person who cook has a feeling, not you. So we should show our feelings by making some sacrifice, putting whatever. We're not cooking for a special master to eat. The special master uses us. The special master uses us to help ourselves. That is his duty. So this should be understood. All right, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving us so much clarification on this topic. So I have 2 questions, Guru Maharaj.
All right, go ahead.
You mentioned that a disciple should try to understand the interests of the spiritual master. So how a disciple can, what are the things that he can do to try to understand the interest of the spiritual master?
The best thing is to hear.
Yes, Guru.
The best thing is to hear. You should hear. So Papa say you know a fool only when he speaks or she speaks. You know a sadhu only when he speaks. When the person speaks, he's expressing himself or herself. So we should hear. Hear properly, you understand this person. You know this person, or my special master wants to be sure the devotees are properly groomed in Krishna consciousness. The special master want to see all us together. Want us to be brothers and sisters keepers. The special master want us to see that we are supporting each other in Krishna, we are appreciating each other. Special master want to see this. He wants us to understand what is Krishna consciousness. He wants us to practice very nicely. He wants us to help each other. He's making so many sacrifices, a lot of effort to make sure we pull everyone together. By his speech, we can understand. The same as he wants us to be a devotee, a pure devotee, not just a floating devotee. He's looking for real devotees. He wants us to be very, very committed to this movement. He doesn't want it to be artificial in any way. Do the real thing. He doesn't want us to be hypocrite. He wants us to be real devotee, genuine devotee. From his speech, we should know this. This is what is written. So don't waste my time for sending the application. From his speech, we should know this. We should know his heart. From hearing, we should hear. Wanted to value Krishna consciousness and to value devotees. The spiritual master wants to see us happy in our Krishna consciousness. Having our Krishna consciousness, it doesn't mean I will not have the difficult challenges. He wants us to be fully well grounded in our Krishna consciousness, so that we will remain satisfied in our Krishna consciousness and see it as a costless mission of Krishna for us to get out of this miserable mental world full of hearing. We should understand this by hearing. When we associate the physical with the spiritual master, we should see what he does. We should see what he does. By his activities, he wants us to do what he does. But we are so dull-headed that we don't see. You give me association so we can come and learn to do what he's doing. So by his activities, his dealings, how he relating, how he doing everything from morning till night, we should see it. That is a lesson, that is teaching. Fully disciple will not learn anything by seeing, by watching the spiritual master. Fully disciple, they will wait to read only when they are told. And some, even when they are told, they will not do it. All right?
Yes, thank you, Raj. And the second question is, you also mentioned that the guru is happy when the disciple is acting properly. So after giving the answer for the first question, so can we presume that the second answer will be also for this question also? How the disciple can be acting properly?
Yes. You should be attentive. You should not go to the spiritual master to go and space out. You should go to the spiritual master to go and learn. Go and learn. See how he's doing everything. You should follow like that. spiritual master calls the disciples together. All of you should come and be with me so you can learn something. But the disciples will go there and don't learn anything, they'll be fighting each other. They're not learning what the spiritual master has called them to come for. They don't learn that, they will fight. Because we don't have respect for Maya. So instead of learning and become advanced in Christian concept, we got distracted because we are not seeing the spiritual master. So this Maya will give us, it will engage us somewhere. And then we'll also slow down the spiritual master service. We only have to spend time to start looking into how to settle our nonsense. All right, next.
Yes, thank you, Gumraj. So from this side, we have only 2 questions. Maybe devotees in the Zoom session, they have a question now.
Next question is from Braja Lakshmi Mataji. You can unmute yourself and ask your question, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavad Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Shri Gurudev. All the devotee. So I heard at one point, and I was with question, then you said, when we perform our duty, if somebody asks us more service, and then we have the capacity to give, but it's a service we can ask a lot of hours, should we do, or? Because now it's the lockdown, we are confined in our room, and I got the opportunity to make a service for the reforestation, and I was, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, little bit sad for the animals and the plants, to don't give harinam, to don't give books, to don't give prasad, to be far of that. And it gives a lot of anxiety inside, because we feel the energy going down, but it's a time for read more, it's a time for study more. Oh my God.
Yes, study more. Every opportunity is given to us to expand our Christian consciousness. So you can study more, can hear more. Now we're not limited to any situation now. We can use any situation now to make advancement in Christian consciousness. Any situation, use that to serve Krishna. That's what the spiritual master wants. So no one can say, oh, I cannot do anything. We can do many things if you want. We can do many things with whatever situation we can do something. So we can do service anytime, anywhere. Next.
Next question is from Aqua Prabhu in the chat. He is asking, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry if you already talked about it, I joined late. My question is, what are some of the ways you can serve and please your spiritual master when you are not there physically with him, or if you do not have constant interaction due to distance? What are some of the ways you can serve? Thank you.
Many ways to serve. Service to the spiritual master does not depend on geographical considerations or physical presence or what. It doesn't. It doesn't. It is a spiritual activity, so it has no limitation. So there are many services we have already mentioned. The spiritual master want to expand peace and consistency. We support that. The spiritual master want to see how we are also helping other brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, I'm not talking about particularly people who have taken initiation from the same spiritual master. Devotees in general. This is what the spiritual master wants. For devotee in general, spiritual master want to see that we serve all devotees in any way we can, and we shall find ways to do service for devotees. So there are many ways you can do that service, not only limited, not only many ways. So you should find ways to do our service. You should call devotees to greet them and check how they are doing. And if there is a physical thing we can do, we should do that. If it is an emotional service we can do, we should do that. If it is verbal, we should do that. Many services we can do. All right. Next.
Next question is from Aditya Singh Prabhu. He is asking, Hare Krishna Maharaj, how can one build trust?
How can one be?
Build trust.
Trust. How can one build trust?
Yes, Gurudev.
If you want to build the trust, it's better to know the person. Better for us to know the person. We have mentioned before, and we'll continue to mention because our system is to repeat so that we can understand what we're doing correctly and do everything correctly for correct and perfect result. We want to trust a person, we should understand the person. So we want to have a good association that we are not going to get disappointed. So we have to know the person. Is this person having my interest in his or her heart? We should know. You should be convinced, you know. Does he has my interest in his or her heart? First thing we should consider. We should look at that. If we don't do this, we're going to have disappointment and feel, oh, it destroyed my trust. We should understand that. Second thing, we should check and see. This person have the same likeness. Have the same likeness. Is attracted to reading like I like, or chanting like I do, hearing like I do, serving like I do, or being devoted to Krishna consciousness, surrender to Krishna consciousness, having strong faith in and Krishna, and etc. Does the person have the same? A second point. Third point is see a pure devotee. If you have to check, if you should check, you should check and make sure these three things are correct. If it is correct, then you know you have a good association, and you know your trust will not be destroyed. You know that yes, I can trust this person because it has the qualities that I recommended. Yes. Not only in the scripture, but in person, you can see these qualities. okay, then I'll trust him, or I will trust her. But the person is going to disappoint me tomorrow. This is how you build our trust. I should say what the person and see what the person is doing. Does he keep to his or her words? Is their deal the character? We trust pure devotee, we trust sadhu because they're not going to disappoint us. We trust Krishna because he's not going to disappoint us. Suppose you go, you have a trust on a tree standing at the bank of the river. Your trust is not going to last because there will be flood and the water will sweep away the tree. Tomorrow you go, you need to see the tree. What is the tree? The problem is not the tree, the problem is you because you are a fool. So we have to understand first. That is how we build our trust. All right?
Yes, Shri Gurudev. We don't have any other question here on Zoom.
The person from Jayesh, Jayesh, I thought I saw something from Jayesh. You don't have? You didn't see it?
No, Gurudev. He has not written.
Mataji, should I read it out?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Jayesh Prabhuji is asking, Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. How to understand these two things? That it is said in Bhagavad Gita, one who goes back to Godhead never comes back. And Srila Prabhupada said that we always have our free will and there is always a chance that we can fall down from Vaikuntha if we want to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Yes. Gita Lord Krishna said, Pasat Pasayate Surya Nasa Sankana Papaka Yat Gatana Narivate Tadam Paramo Parama. In the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan Vaikuntha Loka, there is no electricity, no need for electricity, no need for fire, and there's no need for sun. No other luminaries. It's not necessary. Why Krishna explained that in Jyoti Sama Pitat Jyoti. Krishna himself is a source of all luminaries, which is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita. He's a source of all luminaries. He's a source of everything, all. So it is himself. I mean, no, Krishna, the first thing to see, the beginning of spiritual life is Brahman, Jyoti, the beginning. The fullness of Krishna's. That's the nature of the spiritual world. So Krishna said, get Gato, not the Vata. Anyone who goes will come back again. Now the question was, Papa said, yeah, we have free will. So if we go there, it's our choice to come and back again. But all of us will have experience that nobody want to have a bad dream second time. No one wants to have a bad dream second time. The bad dream should be once, not twice. So we have had a lot of experience of bad dream during the material world. Therefore, we have learned so much lesson that will not, even though the chance is there, will not come in. And so about this Dana Saraswati Thakur would explain. He explained this word Krishna said Parama Mama. He said it means that the Parama, Para, Mama, is supreme mother. Simati Radhani is there to take care of us, that we will not have the chance to come back again because of a treatment we will receive from her. Then he can ask me, so we're not having this in the beginning? Yes, that the mistake we made in the beginning. Once bitten, twice shy. This is what he said. So not able to come back again. Because of the facilities we have there will not give us a chance to think of here. Like I said, nobody like to remember a bad dream. A nightmare is not. We want to remember how we visited Vrindavan and we are dancing kirtan in the festival temple, having wonderful feasts. We want to remember that. We want to remember anything not encouraging. All right.
Yes, we have one last question from Sukadev. Hare Krishna, beloved Gurudev. Is the spiritual master is essential, and so is to understand the spiritual master. But we also see that different disciples have different understanding of the spiritual master's teaching, and they act according to their understanding. Hence, we see that each disciple is acting differently based on their teaching. This way sometimes brings disharmony in properly understanding the spiritual master intents. How can we bridge this, beloved Gurudev, and reconcile it with the spiritual master's vision?
So we should go to the spiritual master and present our differences. To have differences is not bad, because we're individual and we have different levels of understanding of our Christian consciousness. We have different levels. We have different levels. Ignorance, passion, good faith. So it is natural that we're going to act differently. When the spiritual master says something, when Krishna says something, or anyone says something, we're going to hear it and understand it differently based on our understanding, our level. But if there is misunderstanding based on that, which is due to our material leaning, we should take it to the spiritual master for explanation, for clarification. We shouldn't fight ourselves over that. Because we are not going to be the same in all respects. Differences. This is how responsible devotees will act. Always consult with the spiritual master. Whatever the difficult challenges are there, we should get this clarified. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I think there is no more question now. We thank you again for coming and addressing this pertinent issue to us. And hopefully we will try to put it into action to please you and all the devotees in the Sangha.
All right. Thank you. I wish all of you the best in your Christian consciousness.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
So, Bhakti Dhira.
Jai. Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki.
Right.
Jai.